Good morning, everybody, and welcome down to the MatCave. You found your way to MatCave Gaming, and today we're diving back into the world of Resident Evil on the Nintendo Switch, specifically the Cloud editions of RE2 Remake, RE3 Remake, Resident Evil 7, and RE Village. And we're going to take a look at the performance of these games on the Switch 2. Now, it's been a while since we've checked out these games live here on the channel on the Cloud editions, and I have a few videos up regarding them, some progression of performance over the, ever since it was released a couple of years ago at this point. And there have been some improvements here and there with how it performs on the Switch. Well, now with the Switch 2, there were certain expectations that, at least for me personally, that I had when it came to getting access to these Cloud editions on the new hardware, on the Switch 2. My expectation was there should be a performance increase. There should be a better experience with these games. And not all that long ago, right after I got the Switch 2, I did take a look at these games live. And there really wasn't much of a difference. It was still a very poor experience overall. There were some days where the games would play better than others, but it all kind of depended on how the Nintendo servers were doing that day and whether or not they were overcrowded. And you also have to consider your own internet connection at home as well. I generally keep, when I'm streaming these, I have the Switch or the Switch 2 docked and hardwired. And I'm on a multi-gigabit fiber network, and everything is pretty darn stable. So I would expect everything to perform very well, especially when it comes to streaming a game. But to see that there was almost no difference between the Switch and the Switch 2 when it came to, let's say, Resident Evil 2 Cloud Edition, for example, I was pretty disappointed. Well, not too long ago, somebody mentioned in the comments that there was, well, actually not mentioned, they just recommended. They basically said, hey, go into your Switch internet settings and turn off the IPv6. I was like, well, you know what? That's worth a shot. I'll take a look at it and see if that makes any difference. Well, guess what? It made a difference. It made a huge difference. And I couldn't believe it. Now, I did a little bit of digging to see, is this something that everyone should be doing? And the crazy thing is, not only did I get a much better experience with these Cloud editions of the games, but information on doing this fix is very limited from what I got. I was searching all over the place and trying to find, even stuff on Nintendo's own forums to see, is this what we should be doing with the Nintendo Switch 2? And it was very limited in what I found. So I found this very surprising considering the performance increase that I experienced. And we're going to be diving into these games live. We're going to take a look at them today and see exactly what the experience is like. And I will say ahead of time, over testing these games again over the past couple of weeks after doing this fix, there still have been times where it dropped out. There were some issues, but it was nowhere near what it was before. So I'm really curious how this handles today. I'm hoping we see some good things with it, but if the bad things happen, hey, we're going to be capturing it live. So we'll see what we get, but I'm excited to get into this. Guys, today we're doing another stream where we are dual streaming here on YouTube. We have our normal widescreen presentation, and we also have a vertical presentation. And I did notice on the vertical side that there seems to be a little bit of an issue with it. So I'm not sure what's going on with it. I'm going to keep things rolling, and we'll see what happens with it. But you guys can let me know in chat if you're watching the vertical presentation. Let me know how it's performing. And if you're on the widescreen edition as well, let me know how everything's going there. So far on my side, everything appears to be running properly, but I'm not sure what's going on with the vertical side. I noticed it kind of jittering a little bit, but we'll see. we're going to see how it goes. Once we get into the game, I'm going to show you a couple of things, but let me explain a little bit what I did. I'm not going to pull up my system settings because it's going to pull up IP addresses and all kinds of stuff, so we're not going to pull that on screen. But I wanted to get an explanation as to why this helped the performance overall on the Switch 2. So in your internet settings of the Nintendo Switch 2, you can go into your network and turn off the IPv6 section of it, basically leaving the Switch to work on the IPv4 protocol, which is what pretty much everything has been using for years. The IPv6 is the newer version. And I did find that on the regular Switch, I don't see a way of turning that off at all. It doesn't mention it at all. So I don't even know if it accesses IPv6 at all. But if you do want to take this protocol out of the game for your regular Switch, you would have to turn that off at your network router, at your gateway, and tell it to not use that. But for the Switch 2, you can specifically turn this off. Now, here's something that was just in a quick Google search. It basically said that turning off the IPv6 on the Nintendo Switch 2, if you're on a wireless connection, forces the Switch 2 to use your 5 gigahertz band, which is the better band and the faster band when it comes to Wi-Fi. But in both, whether you're docked and hardwired or also on wireless, turning off IPv6 apparently avoids, and this is what it said, poor network routing via the IPv6 pathway. Now, I don't know what issues are happening on that pathway, and I really don't know what limitations that would cause on a gaming system. But I can tell you for a fact, my Nintendo Switch 2, its overall internet performance has increased dramatically, not just with these cloud editions, overall download progress, and every online game, including things like Fortnite, are performing way better. So I'm just leaving that setting off on the Switch 2 always. And this is something that appears to be a fix that some people mention here and there in some forums, but it doesn't seem to be very widespread, and I'm not sure why, because the performance difference overall is a good thing. So I'm going to take a look at these games together, and we're going to see how they perform. So let's jump over to our gaming screen. All right, so we are on the Switch 2 today, and we're going to be looking at Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 7, Resident Evil 3, Resident Evil Village. We're going to be looking at all these. Actually, I have these. I don't know why it's in these. Oh, you know what it is? It has the demos here. So that's why it's there. Oh, I didn't save my RE3 in here. But anyways, we're going to jump through these and see how they perform, because I want to make sure that everything is functioning properly. I'm also taking a look over at my phone to see how the vertical is doing with the layout here. I know we have, we're dealing with a widescreen format, so I don't know. It's weird streaming vertically. You have to shrink things down, and I don't know. It's strange. I'm definitely having fun trying it out. I don't know if this is going to be consistent with the channel going forward, but I definitely want to mess around with it here and there whenever we can. And actually, I just noticed that I have a pop-up thing on there, so let me get that off the screen. Sorry about that. It's going through all these different format changes. There's so many different things that you have to do with this stuff. But anyways, we're going to start with Resident Evil 2. And we're going to just play through a little bit of it. I'm going to talk about how it's performing, whether or not I feel any input lag. We're going to look at the visuals. And we're going to see overall if there's any differences since the last time we visited these games together. And after all this, I'll put together a video of just the edited version of this and, seeing how everything performs. But I definitely want to see how this is acting. We're early in the day here on the East Coast, so server bandwidth should be pretty good. It should be in our favor for the Switch right now, for the Nintendo servers. So I think we're going to be okay. So let's fire up. Oh, we got to do an update. Oh, I should have checked this. These should go quick. Actually, here's a good test. All right, it's going to restart the system. That went really, really fast. But the performance of the Switch 2 has increased dramatically ever since turning off this setting, and it's affected in a positive way pretty much every game I've been playing on there, which is great. So I'm really excited to see how this performs. All right, let's get this up and running. Make sure that we're working. Get the controllers live again. Okay, let me make sure I got my controllers active. Yeah, here we go. We got them in there. All right, let's get back to our Resident Evil folder. I love making the groups here in the list. It makes it so much easier to get access to your favorite games. All right, let's try that again. Resident Evil 2 Cloud Edition. And we're going to see how this goes. Hopefully the volume is good there. I'll check it on the stream in just a moment once we get this going. Okay. We're on our initial loading screen. This can take a minute or two to get initial access to the servers. This is normal with pretty much cloud gaming overall. Same thing happens like on the PlayStation Network and stuff like that. But this did take a long time previously. This is actually moving a bit faster than it did on the regular Switch. But it just kind of depends on how the day is going for the Nintendo servers. All right, it gives us a little update on news. Nothing's updated. It's all the same inputs from when this first released. The game will start soon. Please wait. All right, so now we got it disappeared for a second there, but up at the top corner, top right corner, you're going to see a signal indicator, and that's going to come back once we get into the gameplay. What I discovered about that was I thought that was referring to my home network connection. It turns out that's not referring to my home network connection. That's referring to the connection to the Nintendo server. So that's something you want to pay attention to as you're playing these cloud games to kind of get an idea of how the server is functioning at that time. So that indicator at the top right corner, that's not your home internet. That's the Nintendo server. All right, here we go. We're getting into the menu. Now, one of the things when I initially got these cloud editions was on the title screens, noticing that it had a hard time handling it, especially with this heavy rain animation. And we noticed there was an issue in Resident Evil Village as well. It could barely handle the opening. Now, I see it jittering here a little bit. Now, we're looking at the signal at the top. Everything seems to be okay there. But let's jump into the game and see if this jitters. And it's looking like this might be not a great performance day, because I am noticing already some delay, and we're only in the menus. Let's see what happens. Let's go to story. Let's just hit continue. I don't remember where I left off last time I was playing the Cloud Edition. And then these loading screens here usually take a while on the Cloud Edition, but I notice it loads up the game a bit faster after making this change. So let's see how it handles. But I did see that it was struggling a little bit there, even at the menu. So I'm really curious how RE2 is going to perform right now. And this is why I do these things live. I do this live so that you can see exactly what I'm seeing as this happens. All right, we are in the game, and I'm already noticing we've got some issues. And like I said, this is hit or miss, depending on the day and how the servers are handling. So you can see how it's really struggling to move right now. But the next time you boot up the system, and the next time you fire up the game, it could be running super smooth. Now, I've played this super smooth since doing this change. But right now, it is not happy. And we've got Mr. X coming after us. And I'm definitely going to die because I can't move. Let's see if I can get in this door. I'm going to let it go here a little bit just to see if this catches up. But right now, this thing is not happy. So what I'm going to do is we're going to restart the game and see if that clears the issue. Yeah, let's jump back to our menu here. We're going to restart this game and see if that changes how this is impacting. Let's do this as a quick test. I just want to show a difference of what's happening. I'm going to load up Fortnite real quick. All right. This is a completely online game. This relies on the internet to be able to perform. And anyone that's played Fortnite on the regular Switch knows that there's definitely a decrease in performance. They've upped their game here for the Switch 2, and the game overall plays really well. But I just want to show that the Switch 2 is is getting a good connection, and make sure that we're all right. And then we're going to jump right back to the Resident Evil. I just want to do this as a test here. Got all the Power Ranger stuff going on. Okay, we can skip the Fortnite crew stuff. Whoa, I got a lot of stuff, apparently. I never play on the Switch, so it's loading up all these things that are happening, like, off the bat here. Let me just do, like, an emote or something. So, we could do a couple things here. Yeah, but you can see that the online connection is working. You know, obviously you're going to get a little bit of a less of a performance on the Switch versions of Fortnite and games like this versus other consoles like the PS5 and the Xbox, and then especially PC. But you can see that this thing is actively working. So we're going to switch back to Resident Evil Cloud and see how this is doing. And that's the thing, it's like, you can have some really good days with these cloud games, both in handheld and docked. And I've experienced it. And it's such a nice thing being able... I love getting the opportunity to play these in handheld. That's what I was so excited about. My ultimate hope is that Nintendo and Capcom put actual ports of these games locally onto the Switch. Onto the Switch 2. In all honesty, on the Switch 1 as well. They should. There's no reason not to. The systems can handle it. You just, you know, if you take like the PC port of it, for example, on the Switch 1, just tone it down a little bit, you know? That's all you got to do. And everything should perform properly. Well, let's see how this loads up this time. We got past that initial loading screen faster. Here we go. Definitely seems to be moving a little better at this point after restarting it. Mystically is good to see you. How's it going? Stanley's good to see you, dude. Okay. We're looking better there. Alright. Menu is moving much better. Let's go into story. Let's go to continue. It's already moving faster. And better. Yeah, it's a Resident Evil morning. And here we go. What a difference. So let me see if I can get into a safe spot away from where Mr. X is coming in. Oh yeah, we got zombies. What you doing, lady? Hi. Okay. See, it works a lot better when the game is actually like moving. Let's see if we can go to... X gonna get it. Yeah, he's roaming around at this point. I'm gonna go into the safe room over here for a second. But you can already see the game is performing way better than it has in the past, including the time we just loaded it first thing this morning. Now, a couple things we're going to look at, and there's another thing in the main hall I'm going to go back to and take a look at. But one of the first things I want to talk about here is the input lag. Right now, there's practically no input lag happening here. Everything is actually moving the way you would want it. It's there, and it's not to say there's zero lag. You can feel, even when it's performing well, you can feel a little bit just a little bit of that lag happening. It's noticeable enough where you can feel that you're playing this on the Switch versus another console or especially PC. And even with that, and I'm using the Joy-Cons in the attachment here. I have the Pro controller there as well, but I had the same experience with both. But you could see that the camera's moving nice and smooth, frame rate is keeping up, and the visuals are actually cleaner. If you look back at prior videos where we have looked at the cloud editions of these, you'll see all kinds of artifacting and breakup. And there still is a little bit here. I'm going to go into an area in the main hall, and we're going to specifically look at the lighting coming down from the ceiling. And I want to show you that it's actually performing a lot better. Mystically says, have you heard any more news on Code Veronica or Zero remake development? Not a whole lot recently. I know both are in development. The question is which one is coming first? I think there's a lot of effort being put into Zero at this point, which is pretty cool. I would love to see what they do with a remake of that. But let's go out to the main hall here. We're going to take a look at some lighting. I'm just moving all around. I'm just kind of zigzagging just to kind of keep movement going and seeing how it feels here. But I'll tell you, it is a night and day difference versus what these games did on the Nintendo Switch 1. And now we're on the Switch 2 after turning off the IPv6 setting. And I hear Mr. X, but there's the lighting from the ceiling I wanted to talk about. We're going to go up to a view. You can still see it breaking up a bit, but it's not nearly as bad as it was initially. Oh boy, there's Mr. X. I'm just trying to do a test, Mr. X. We're going to loop back around, and we're going to take another look at it. But now we have a bunch of action happening, and everything is still moving nicely. Let's get away from him a little bit. We'll loop around. See, this is actually good. He's forcing me to run. He's forcing me to move around into different areas. We got rain out here happening, so we got a lot of activity on the screen, and it's still moving really, really nice. And the visuals, especially the character model. Take a look at Leon's character model here. Off his shoulder, off the rain landing on him. Even his hair. Everything is much more detailed than it looked initially when these released on the cloud, on the Switch 1. And to be able to, and this will happen the same way in, it'll happen the same way when you're in handheld on Wi-Fi. Right now I'm docked and hardwired, but I've noticed the performance was the same. I did tests hardwired and on Wi-Fi to see how it did, and I was getting the same results. I'm going to move back into here and take a look at chat here. Ted says, okay, I see what's happening. The chat from the vertical live is not being shown in the YouTube chat. Oh, so yeah, it's there's two streams happening right now, Ted. When you do this dual stream, there's a stream in vertical that has its own chat, and there's a stream like you're looking at right now, excuse me, that has its own chat as well. I see them merged in Streamlabs, but I also have two separate ones open so that I can see who's talking in where. It's definitely an odd experience doing this, but I definitely wanted to test it out and see how it does. But I'm really glad that this game loaded up poorly the first time I loaded it up today, because it shows you what I'm talking about, that you really got almost a 50-50 shot of how the game is going to perform each time you load it up and access the Nintendo servers. But you can see while this is performing well, it's performing very well. And I was so excited to hear about this quote-unquote fix, and there's not a whole lot of people talking about it. So what I did, and I'll say it multiple times throughout the stream, as people are joining in, I went into the internet settings on the Switch 2, and I turned off IPv6, and just leaving this to the standard IPv4 protocol, and it allowed me to actually play the game and enjoy the experience. I mean, This is a night and day difference from what we have seen in the past. And I can't believe that there was an actual way to fix it. And not a whole lot of people are talking about it. It drives me crazy. Ted says, yeah, I look back at the beginning, so the bad performance, yeah, it went crazy. And we're going to look at the other titles as well and see if the same thing happens. But right now, we're solid, and we're several minutes in to doing this. And it's still working. It hasn't dropped. The lag hasn't hit. Nothing is breaking up. I haven't had a bunch of pixelation in the game. It's just working. Oh, we got zombies. Let's mess with them a little bit. Will these guys bust out the door? What weapons do I have right now? I have 2 bullets in the shotgun and 7 in the handgun. Here, come on out, fellas.
God damn it.
Uh-huh. You can actually aim when there's no controller lag. Oh, we're gonna need you guys to group up. And now I have no ammo. And I'm stuck. Oh no! And I have no defensive weapons. But look, that's good. That's good. We're getting some action here. We're getting a whole bunch of movement. And that's exactly what you want to test when you're dealing with something on a cloud server. You want to see how it handles when a bunch of activity is happening in the game. So that's really good that that happened right there. But overall, here we go. Resident Evil 2 Remake performing very well on the Nintendo Switch 2 with the IPv6 setting turned off. That's the key. That's what was mentioned to me in our comments, and my sincere apologies. I forget the name of the person that commented. I'll add it to the description of the stream afterwards. But this seems that IPv6 format seems to have caused a whole bunch of issues. That I'm sure that's most likely the problem on the regular Switch as well. Yeah, Ted says IPv6 is overrated. I know it's the newer format, and there's not a ton of things utilizing it for the most part at this time, but the fact that it causes poor network routing, which then is going to impair a service you're paying for via a gaming system, everything should have the option to turn it off. But the regular Nintendo Switch, I do not see any way of turning that off on the Switch 1. The Switch 2 has that specific setting to turn off. And that's how I got to the performance level here with this Cloud Edition. I know the IPv6, I guess turning it off when you're on Wi-Fi, from what I've seen in the searches, it forces the Wi-Fi connection to, or at least motivates the connection to stay on the 5 gigahertz band, which is the faster band. Nintendo probably trying to keep it on the quiet would probably cost them more bandwidth. Oh my god, maybe that is the case. It's considering how these performed, and we've played this live multiple times here on the channel to see how it's performing, and that's on top of just how all the times I have run through the game just on my own offline. Yeah, look at this. I'm dead now, but we're getting a whole bunch of action here. And, oh boy, that was nasty. But still going. Still performing well. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to jump to one of the other games. Now, the ones that I have noticed that performed the worst were 7 and Village. So let's jump over to those, because RE3 is basically the same idea with 2. Let's try out 7, and then we're going to try out Village, where there was the worst performance overall when the IPv6 was turned on. Another thing to force the Switch players to upgrade. Yeah, isn't that insane? I hope that's not a tactic that they're using. But here's the thing. With the Nintendo Switch 1, if you want it to avoid using IPv6 altogether, you would have to go into your router or your gateway and disable that from your network altogether. That's up to the user. That's up to personal preference of how far you want to impact your own home network. I'm sure there's got to be benefits on some devices utilizing IPv6. I don't know exactly what they are. All I can tell you is that someone recommended to me turning it off, and I had an immediate performance change. Let's go to 7 and see how this handles. Let's see if we get the same experience with the first load up. Does it have a problem on the first load up, or are we going to be smooth going forward? And I don't know what it was about 7 and 8. Maybe it's because it was first person or something. I don't know what it was about these games, but they performed far worse than 2 and 3 on cloud. It was practically unplayable. In fact, I would say Village was completely unplayable. It was so problematic. You couldn't, there was no way to get through the game like that. You need that precision. You need that performance to be there. And any type of lag in a first-person shooter-style game, which is basically what these became, you need that to be functioning very well. So let's see how it does here. You know, we'll see what it does here live. That's why I do it live. I want you guys to see exactly what happens here. Mecha Leonardo TMNT, what's going on? Hello there. Welcome to the stream. We are testing out the cloud editions of Resident Evil on the Nintendo Switch 2. And the reason we're doing this is because I took the recommendation of someone and I turned off IPv6 in the Nintendo Switch 2. I turned it off and I got an immediate performance boost. Overall on the system, not just with these cloud editions. Anything online, from downloading games to navigating the shop to playing a game like Fortnite, everything performs better. We're going to let this cutscene play because this used to crap out on us when we played the cloud edition. The cloud version hated these cutscenes, and now it's just working. That was perfect. That was perfect. At a glance, if you didn't know better, you would think that was on the PlayStation 5 or the Xbox or even PC. That was perfect. All right, let's hit continue. I don't know where I left off on this one. And let's see how quickly we get into the gameplay. We got our little loading screen there, and we're already in. And here we go. We're towards the beginning of the game. We're looking for Mia. We have a new subscriber. Thank you so much for subscribing. I greatly appreciate it. Here we are in a very graphics-heavy area in the game, down in this basement area. All kinds of moisture on the brick and stone, the textures that are happening here, and I am moving this camera nice and smooth on purpose. And look how well and smooth that is moving. You found the other stream too. Awesome. So there's Mia. We're gonna get the bolt cutters, and we're gonna initiate a sequence here. But I can't believe this is actually working. And again, we're docked, obviously for the sake of streaming this. But I have been getting this same performance in handheld, which was exactly what I've wanted from these games. The ability to play these remakes and 7 and 8 in handheld mode. I'm going to check that volume here of the stream here real quick.
Oh, thank God I found you. It's me. It's Ethan.
Ethan? Ethan?
Are you alright?
You shouldn't be here.
What do you mean? You contacted me.
No, I wouldn't. Did I? Did anyone see you?
Okay,
Did
seems
he
to sound
see
good.
Hey, who else is here?
Look at the
hell's going
detail
on?
here
Daddy's coming.
on
We need
Mia.
to go.
Her hair
We
movement.
need to go now.
John Cena in the chat. What's up? Okay.
Where are you taking me?
Someplace safe.
Look at the lighting here.
What's going on?
Everything is running incredibly smooth. You can see the indicator from the Nintendo server is been at full bars this whole time. I'm not feeling any input lag right now, which is incredibly surprising. It's moving really, really well. This would jitter like crazy. This area where it's dark and the different levels of lighting would be pixelating like crazy. There would be so much jitter in the image, and there's none of it right now, guys. We are on the Nintendo Switch 2 playing Resident Evil 7 Cloud Edition right now. Believe it or not, look back at prior streams looking at this exact same port of the game. It is a night and day difference. And I'm so happy about that. Because this is the performance level we deserve as Resident Evil fans.
Me.
But you did.
I didn't.
Okay, fine. Just tell me what's going on.
I'm telling you everything that I know.
I'm just going to keep moving,
We
you know,
have
a
to
little
go
bit.
this way.
I'm purposely doing gentle movements with the camera because that's when you will feel the lag. When you're trying to maintain like a precise level of control with your camera in a game. And if there's input lag, you're going to notice it right away where things are going to jump and it's going to get really, really weird. It's going to feel like it's fighting you. But man, I'll tell you, look at this. Not a single hiccup yet. There still could be. We're going to go a little further. Let's really push this.
It's there.
And if you guys notice something that I don't, let me know. But this is a dream come true,
I remember
as far as I'm concerned. The fact that I can play this in hand, and I'm telling you, this same performance in handheld. As long as you got a decent Wi-Fi connection, which, you know, you don't need a whole lot when it comes to streaming games like this. But it's the fact that this works this smooth on the Nintendo Switch hardware, Nintendo Switch 2 hardware, I should say, is fantastic. And I've gone back to the Switch OLED, the Switch 1, and tried these games out again multiple times, and I get the same poor experience I've had every time out with them. But now with the Switch 2, I could do full playthroughs of these games now. It would have been a nightmare to do. Oh boy, she's getting kidnapped. This would have been a nightmare to get through on the Switch 1. It would be almost impossible. And I know there's been some people that have had good performance days on their Switch 1. I have had good performance days on the Switch 1 before, but it's not consistent. And even with this change, with turning off the IPv6 to get this performance boost, there's still days where it doesn't do well, certain times of the day. Maybe the server gets a little too crowded. There's a lot of factors in play when you're dealing with cloud editions of games on any system. Because it's not just relying on what you personally have in your system. It's relying on a remote server somewhere. And that creates a huge issue. Alright, let's go run through one of the scariest moments in the game. And then we'll test out Village. But there's going to be a lot of action right here. And let's see how it handles it. Everybody get ready for a jump scare. But look how it's handling the dark. It's working really well, guys. It's working really well. Hey, Mia. Everything's in sync. That's another thing you have to worry about with cloud games. Sometimes the audio and visual can go out of sync. Mia! Why? It's moving. It's moving.
Mia, wait!
She's out of her mind. Yeah, Ted, exactly. Oh my god. This would have made the Switch 1 explode. Man. What an insane sequence.
I can hear her. I can feel her clawing her way back inside of me.
Whoa, that must feel interesting.
Ow! Leave me alone! I've been bad. I deserve this.
Man. It's crazy how well this is working. Now, anybody just joining, if you want to see what the bad performance looks like when it happens, scan back earlier in the stream to when we first loaded up RE2 Remake on Cloud, and you'll see what a bad performance looks like. But now, We are looking good. Alright, we're going to do the ultimate test now. The latest game in the series. Resident Evil 8 Village. This one was, in my opinion, and I don't think it's far-fetched to say that many people would share that opinion, Village was pretty much unplayable. And I had the same performance problems before I turned off the IPv6 on the system. And now we're going to jump into it. I'll tell you, on the Switch one with the IPv6 going, and also with IPv6 turned on with the Switch 2, this game couldn't even handle the menu. It couldn't handle the menu. It was insane. And then trying to play the game was quite literally impossible. So now we're going to see how this was doing. We got a good performance out of 2. We got a great performance out of Resident Evil 7 just now. Let's see how Resident Evil 8, with the latest at this time of the RE engine, let's see how this handles here. Gotta make sure the jiggle is in sync. Okay, let's see how we do. We're getting the connections to the server pretty quick. Okay, taking a moment. There we go. Now we're moving. Now we're in game. RE engine, baby. Let's see how it handles the menu with just that, like, there's going to be like the jacket, like, flowing in the wind on the post. We got the meter at full up top, and here's the menu. And it's moving smooth right now, guys. It's moving very smooth. This would stutter so badly. Like, just trying to start the game was a chore. Let's just hit continue. I have no idea where I left off here. Looks like we're in Castle Dimitrescu. Let's see how we do with the initial load here into the gameplay. And we're in. We are in, everybody. Resident Evil 8, Resident Evil Village. We are in the castle. There's the Duke. We've got, what weapons do we have going on here? Let's see what I have. I've got the handgun, oh wait, no, I'm on the ammo. The Samurai Edge. I've got the M1897, the shotgun. And that's pretty much it there. Okay. So, I haven't played through these games in their entirety on the cloud ports, so I don't have anything unlocked. Let's go around the castle a little bit. Let's see what we got going on here. So far, so good. I do feel a little bit of input lag with the camera movement. Not terrible. Definitely not terrible. You can see how smooth this is moving. I'm going to move the camera. Let's do this. I'm going to spin the camera, everybody. Let's spin the camera. Here we go. I mean, that's pretty darn good right there. You could see all the detail in this room here. Let's take a look at the fireplace. Heavy lighting change there. Aiming. And moving with aiming. You can go pretty quick. You can go nice and smooth if you want. You can get precise aiming because the game is actually functioning properly. And we are on the Cloud Edition right now. I'm going to keep saying it just in case anybody's catching it at the moment to know what version we're looking at and why this is so impressive. Where were we in the game? Are we activating one of the sisters right here? Yep. Oh, no. No, we're not. I thought the daughter was there. What items do I have? I don't even remember what I was doing. Oh, the crimson glass. Okay, I gotta put that. And then the eye thing. I gotta go upstairs. I just want to push through the game a little bit here, just to see how it handles. You know, give it a chance to really do its thing. See if there's any issues. So far, so good. Did that glass go in here? It's been a while since I've done this. Oh no, it's a wine bottle that goes there. The statue gets the eyeball thing. The statue door. There we go. There we go. Good transition in the movement. Now we're going to get some action. Let's see how this handles all the bugs. This previously caused the game to completely lock up or even crash.
I haven't cut open a man in a while.
Oh boy.
Let me string you up, slice your jugular, and just watch. Taken alive, dead,
Jeez.
which would you prefer?
Let's get away from her.
I can't hold back any longer.
Down into the dungeon. Man, and I'm using the Joy-Cons in the adapter. This game feels even better on the Pro controller, which actually I may switch to. But this is a good test because the most common thing users are going to have is the Joy-Cons, because obviously that comes with the system. The Pro controllers are additional. You can see there's a little bit, there's definitely graphics toned down when it comes to some of the lighting. You can see as it transitions a little bit, you can see some of that artifacting that happens within the light. You can see it, the reflections on the walls, here and there. There's definitely, it is toned down when it comes to making its way onto the Switch and the Switch 2. But when it's performing properly, as it should, what a difference. What a huge difference. This room, too. This room has so much detail in it. And I remember this is actually, you go to this room in the Resident Evil Village demo, that when you first are getting these games here on the Switch and Switch 2, you are required to play the demo first. It basically says it's testing to make sure that you can handle the game before you buy it. Honestly, that's a great thing that they did with that. So I applaud Nintendo for doing that, and Capcom. Let them actually test it out and make it a requirement to make sure you're good to go before you put the money into it. And these Cloud Editions have been going on sale a bunch lately. I'm not sure if they're on sale right now. I'll check them in the shop when we head back to the menu. But I gotta tell you guys, and you've seen it before here on the channel, how badly these performed. And here we are live on the Switch 2 and playing this about as smooth as we have played it on other consoles and on PC. Which is awesome. Absolutely awesome. We're going to fight a few guys down here. I want to see some more activity. I want to really push this. Okay, where are you guys? Where are you? Oh, you're over there. You coming out of the ground? Oh, hello. Oh. Ow. I saw a little hiccup there. I'm against the wall. I need a med kit. Oh no. I missed. I am noticing there's a little bit of lag happening right now. Not a crazy amount, but just enough to impact my fire rate. Getting all bloodied up. So that's the thing, when you get into a lot of action, if there's ever any lag, input lag, it can really impact your game. You just saw how much damage we took in this early on sequence in the game. I'm going the wrong way. Yeah. That's why every bit of performance matters in these games. But even still, even with that, you can adapt to this. The last time we tried to play this live, I couldn't take out a single one of these guys because the controls were so bad due to the lag. Can we make some ammo? There we go. Take that. I gotta tell you, I'm so happy that this is actually working. Forbidden, what's going on, dude? I am off today, and I got a bunch more time off next week. We're gonna be streaming like crazy, guys. Okay. We go through this.
I can't believe Cassandra caused
One
all
more
this
spot.
mess.
We're probably gonna die here because I have like nothing. Oh, we got the bugs.
Give up yet?
Oh, get off of me. Run away. There's shotgun ammo over here. I'm gonna risk getting it.
Warm, wet, bright red
Got it.
blood.
Girl's crazy.
Where are you going?
Alright, let's see how this sequence plays. Alright. Trick to this.
Cannot
We
harm.
gotta get the light and the cold onto her. Let's break the windows.
You stupid man thing!
Yeah, stupid man thing. Oh! And we're dead! Oh no, we're not dead! Do I have health? I have health.
How dare you bare your teeth at us!
Oh
Not like this.
no! Yeah, like this. I think somebody forgot to take their meds. Got her. Man, this is... It's moving so well, guys. We just got Magnum ammo. Sam, what's going on? It's playing Resident Evil early in the morning. This is a night game. I want Resident Cheerful in the morning. Yeah. Yeah, there'll be more, there'll be some more morning streams coming. Some more retro gaming coming in the morning. And, we'll have, you know, a little less gore happening. But today we're testing out the cloud editions of Resident Evil on the Nintendo Switch 2. And the reason we did this is because I found out that if you turn off the IPv6 setting on the Nintendo Switch 2, you get a dramatic performance increase in not only these cloud editions, but in all internet performance on the Nintendo Switch 2 overall. And we've seen these games play like absolute garbage on the Nintendo Switch, and now they're actually functioning. They are completely playable. Which is really all you want from a game. You want to be able to play it. And they couldn't accomplish that on the Nintendo Switch, but now on the Switch 2, with the option of turning off IPv6, you can actually play through these games nice and smooth and have a fantastic experience with it. Yeah, I can't believe how well this is working. Make some more med kits here while we can. There's a jewel in here, I think, right? There it is. Give me that. Where'd it go? Got it. Yeah, she doesn't like to watch these. Alright, I'm going to go hit a save point over here. Because now, at some point, I'm actually going to play through this here on the Cloud Editions and unlock stuff.
Welcome, welcome.
Hello there.
You're sure to find something new.
Thanks, Duke. Okay. That's great. That's fantastic. Let's head back to the menu. That was an insanely successful test of that game. That is phenomenal. Did I not re-download RE3? Let's just fire up the demo. Right here. Actually, it may tell me I can't play it anymore. I don't remember if this was a one-time thing. But we didn't do this one yet, so let's just jump into Nemesis here and see how it performs. The fact that Village was running as well as it was, huge, huge difference. I can't believe this. I can't wait to play through these games in their entirety handheld. Like, I'm just talking like relaxing on the couch or laying in bed, having the handheld system, and running through these. That's the experience I wanted from these. When it first got announced that these games would be ported to the Switch via cloud service, I was definitely concerned, but I was very excited. And then when they finally launched and were horrible, I was so disappointed. And now, over the last few weeks, getting to actually play these well, it's just phenomenal. So you can see there's a link to go to the shop because we loaded up the demo here. But it's a good, give you an idea of what it tells you to do. It wants you to play the demo to make sure you can run the game. Right now, the opening menu is functioning. I don't remember where the demo puts us in 3. And it loaded right up into a cutscene. We're gonna let this play to see how it performs. But look at the visuals, guys.
Carlos, you didn't even think to ask
It looks great.
lady her name? She is an elite operative of RPD, Special Tactics and Rescue Service. Her name is something Valentine.
It's Jill.
Man.
Nice.
I'm so happy that this is working.
I am UBCS Platoon Leader Mikhail Victor. My team was sent here to rescue civilians.
You're hurting, dude.
Great. How's that going for you?
The city is completely cut off, isolated. Most of the 100,000 civilians will wind
Look at
up
this.
dead.
When the cloud service has the opportunity to not be obstructed by whatever the IPv6 was doing to it, you're getting the game at its almost peak.
Well, you can thank your corporate overlords for that.
Yes. Well, we are
Nintendo,
doing all we
Capcom,
can. If we can get this
we
subway
need
train moving,
a widespread
we can evacuate
announcement
some
of what to do to
survivors.
fix these. Look,
We need help.
we're doing it live.
My
It's
men
working.
cannot do this alone.
Better than it ever has. I don't know, there's got to be like, we need Nintendo or at least Capcom to put out like an official instructions FAQ of what to do, how to turn IPv6 off in your Nintendo Switch 2, and if it's on the Switch 1, how to turn off IPv6 on your router or gateway, because you can't do it in the Switch 1. There's no option to do it, so you would have to prevent it at the source.
We need to get you geared up. Head up to street level. You'll find supplies there.
All right.
Oh, I went the wrong way. Oh man. Look at this. Look at this. It's just working. I don't have I haven't checked anything yet on like the PS5 if I could turn off IPv6. I also haven't turned it off in my router and gateway. I didn't want to mess with that. But I got to check the settings on the PlayStation and see if there's something in there. I haven't had any... That said, I haven't had any issues with cloud games on the PlayStation Network.
Working on it.
So that's why I haven't jumped into changing anything there.
And how do I do that?
Because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's the kind of the way I look at it. This, on the other hand, was very broken, so I had to fix it. And just finding out that this was an option, it blew my mind, because I wish I knew this from the beginning. But in a lot of ways, I'm glad that I didn't know, because I got to experience the issues that people were having so that I could speak to them and understand exactly what was going on. But prior to this change, trying to even just move the camera in this game was a nightmare. I mean, it just did not work. And now here we are, playing through with not a single issue. We had a slight hiccup for a very brief moment in Village
Train moving.
that was hardly noticeable. I need my gun. Come here, you. Whoop. Ooh, I am getting there is a little bit... I think this is more Joy-Con, though. Let's do this. Actually, I don't know if it's going to let me do that. Let's try something. I want to switch to the Pro Controller. Let's change our grip order. Let's grab the Pro Controller. So we got the Switch 2 Pro Controller. We're going to jump in. Okay, let me back in. Okay. Alright, we're back. The demo has ended. To continue playing, you need to purchase access. Okay, so let's go back to the portal. But yeah, so it's a timed demo. These games, though, the fact that you can actually play these successfully now is unbelievable. And look, the Switch 2 at this time is still very, very new. Not everyone is going to have it. So there's going to be issues that still happen when it comes to performance on the regular Switch. Now, I'll show you real quick. I'm not going to go into the details of the settings, but what you want to do is you're going to go to, well, actually, it's going to show a little too much on there. So you go up to internet, and you're going to see your connection there. And you choose your connection and adjust the settings from there. And then there's literally a thing, like a toggle switch, just like that, that's on button mapping and quick settings. And you turn it off for IPv6. And then you make sure the system is up to date. And I like to, after I make a change like that, I like to reboot systems to make sure everything was applied, check it, make sure it's there. So that's what I recommend. Turn it off, make sure everything's there, reboot the system, make sure you're completely up to date, and then verify that it's turned off, and then jump into the games. But man, and then let's do this. Let's jump into the shop. The shop moves nice and quick. I mean, if anybody's been in the Nintendo shop on the regular Switch, you know how slow this runs. And this just fires right up. I've been considering getting 2K25 on here to see how it performs, but I'm still holding out. But this moves nice and smooth. Everything is working great. Let's jump into, real quick, Another online heavy game. We did Fortnite before. What's another one we could do? Oh, I'm going to be playing this soon, by the way, guys. We're going to be streaming the new Shinobi and the Art of Vengeance. This game, oh man, I tried it out the other day. Oh, it's so cool. I can't wait. We're going to be doing a stream of that game. Maybe that's tomorrow's stream? I don't know. We'll see. I also bought the Ninja Gaiden Sigma collection. Those are great. But let's see. What do we got that is online heavy? Mario Kart definitely is. But we've played Mario Kart on here, and we've seen it work fine. Maybe there's not a whole lot of other stuff we could do. Have they updated the GameCube list anytime soon? Or do we still have the same games that it launched with? Oh, we got something new! What did we get for the GameCube? What the heck is that? Chibi Robo. Plug into Adventure. I have never heard of that game. I don't know what the heck that is. But you can see we fired up into the service here with no problem. All of the online service stuff, obviously you're streaming all of those. So all those retro games, technically you're playing cloud games. You don't download any of them. Man. Here's Resident Evil 3 Cloud. I didn't add it to my list. That's weird. Let me fire this back up because we didn't get a full test like we did the other one. So let's fire it up, and we're using now the Pro controller for the Switch 2. Let me know, guys, if you're catching us on replay or you're here live in the chat. Have you played the cloud editions of these Resident Evil games? Have you been holding off on getting them? Do you have a Switch 2? And if so, would you now consider getting these cloud editions, knowing that this setting can fix them? So you always have to go through the initial point here of getting onto the server. And if there's ever issues, like known issues, they do give you an alert up front there if there are problems, which is good. You want to be able to stay on top of that. But most of the time, the indicator at the top right corner is usually what's going to tell you whether or not you're going to have a problem with the game that day. You know, and it's 11:37 a.m. here on the East Coast at the time of doing all these tests. 5 o'clock tonight, maybe it's different, you know? It honestly can be hit or miss. But after that initial problem we had with RE2, after that, all of this has been very smooth. So let's see how this handles. I don't remember where I left off. Again, I didn't play through these in their entirety. I've just been mostly testing them. On all the rest of the systems, I've beaten the snot out of these games. I got everything unlocked. Oh, we're down with the bugs. Oh, we are a little jittery. We're a little jittery, guys. You see it? Oh, yeah. Okay. Uh-huh. Just like RE2 before. See, look. Oh, yeah, that's a big problem. There's no way we're going to get past these bugs jittering like this. So, we're going to do exactly what we did before with RE2. We're going to restart it. And when we restarted RE2 Cloud, it was perfect from that point forward. Let's see if we get the same luck with RE3. I'm glad that happened. I'm very glad that happened, because it shows it's not perfect, and it's far from it. But it's functional now. So this could have just been, I got into the server at a bad moment. You know, maybe it runs fine now on the second load. And when you're dealing with something like cloud gaming, there's certain things that you kind of have to go into it knowing that you have to be willing to sacrifice sometimes. Not only graphics, but sometimes time. You know, you need to be willing to reload things. Because when this runs real bad, you can get booted from the game. And as we know, as Resident Evil goes, getting booted suddenly from a game like that, and you haven't saved, you're going back to whenever the last time you saved was. And you could lose a lot of progress. Because here's the thing, you got booted from the game, it didn't just save for you. No, it turned off. It's like somebody flipped the power on you. It's a terrible experience when that happens. Alright, here we go. Jumping back in. Let's see how this does. Okay, firing back up. Story. Continue. Let's see how we do this time. Hopefully it just works, or we deal with problems still. You never know until you just get in there. We are still jittering. I wonder if it's this section. What weapons do I have? I have a grenade. I got the shotgun. Let's try. Let's try to get through this. These things are... There's going to be fast-moving bugs in here, too, so this is going to be tricky. Alan, what's up, dude? Good morning. Oh, yeah, this is going to be a nightmare. You see this jitter, guys? Here, I'm going to spin the camera again like we did before. You see how it's, like, hesitating? So that's what we're fighting right now. Yeah, it's going to be a problem getting through this section. Wonky, welcome to the stream. Says, I saw Elden Ring running on Switch 2 this past weekend at PAX. It was so incredibly awful, I couldn't believe it. It was struggling to hold 20 FPS. I believe it. I definitely believe it. What we're testing here today, and we've had some great performance, actually, up until this moment. We're testing the Nintendo Switch 2, the Resident Evil Cloud Editions, and I have turned off the IPv6 setting in the Nintendo Switch 2, which has given an immediate performance boost. But at this time, loading up RE3, RE3 is struggling right now. We had a great time with RE2, with 7 and Village. Look at this. Look how much that's struggling. Oh yeah, it's... RE3 right now on the Switch, on Switch servers, is not happy. And we gotta deal with these bugs while we're jittering. I don't think we survive this. Oh, I'm gonna die. Oh boy, that's awful. Oh, that's awful. Hey, personal space. Okay, we need a green herb. I don't have a green herb. The mixed red will... will the mixed red work? I don't think it will. Nope. Oh, it did work. Okay. Oh boy, this is rough. Yeah, there's no way we survive this. Yeah, I'm gonna jump back after this. You can even scan back in the stream. You're gonna see how smooth RE7, RE8 was running, and even RE2 after we reloaded it. When we first fired up today, RE2 was acting like this. Actually, it was acting worse than this. And then we reloaded the game, and it was smooth sailing from then forward. But right now, I'm gonna try to push through this area to see if it's this area that it's not liking, because there's too much going on. I can the aiming is so slow, I can barely get them in my sights. Oh! I can't switch to the shotgun. Okay, here we go. I need that herb. Where did it go? We need this in case we get the bug on us again. Look how much this is struggling. I'm in like desperation mode right now, just to try to get through this. Okay. It's so jittery, so like, when you deal with this lag that's happening and you try to move the camera, it's gonna be a problem, throughout. Because you're desperately trying to fight the movement. I'm gonna keep the shotgun out, though, so that we have a better chance against these bugs. Because I really want to see how this performs outside of this bug-infested area. Okay, they went back. I'll accept that. Let's see if we can get out of here.
Done. Time to get the hell out of here.
Come on!
Oh. We're hurting. Let's just escape. Okay. Out of that area. You can see it breaking up a little bit.
Okay.
Oh.
All that leaves is the power switch.
It was that area. Let's get in here.
Enjoy that.
No, it's still struggling. This could be their server right now for this particular game. Yeah, it's night and day difference from what we're looking at right now. That's why I do these live, so that everybody can see exactly what was going on here. I'm gonna save right here so for later tests to pick up from there. So, wow, maybe it's.
Carlos, it's Jill. I've restored power to the subway.
It's definitely a little bit smoother now. But even still, like, we were in
Right. I think I know the
way more heavily detailed areas in the other games, and it was performing beautifully. Like, Nemesis is going to pop out here. Let's see what happens with Nemesis. Look at that. I'm still jittering, but it's doable. Here comes Nemesis. Can we actually survive this? Oh! Get out of here. Oh! Holy moly.
Carlos, that thing is still alive.
Yep, let's keep that. Run away! Okay. Okay. There's a lot. It's not happy. I can tell you it's not happy. But reloading the game again might make it happy. Holy moly. Get away from me, Nemesis. Hi. And I'm dead. Oh boy. Oh. Okay. We're gonna give this another shot. We're gonna restart it. And we're gonna see if we get a better... Actually, here, let's do this. Let's do this as an ultimate test. Let's jump back to Village. Oh, I went to the wrong profile. Hold on. Let's jump back to Village. We know that was working. Let's see. Let's see what we get here. Is it an issue right now with the servers overall? Or was it just RE3 having that problem? That's what I think this is. This will give us a good idea of what we're dealing with, what we're fighting against. And just overall, what people can expect with these cloud editions. But again, for anyone just joining, the reason we're testing this is because we turned off the IPv6 setting in the Nintendo Switch 2. And it has, without a doubt, increased performance overall on the Nintendo Switch 2 for everything connecting online. Not just these cloud games. Download speeds are phenomenal. Games like Fortnite run beautifully. The eShop, great experience in there. The hamster on the wheel is on a break. There we go. Let's dive right back into this. The menu, which this game usually struggled with, still moving nice and smooth. Let's hit continue. We saved. We got full bars on the server. Again, that's those bars up there. That's the Nintendo server status. That's not your home internet. And we are moving real nice. Here we go. It's RE3, everybody. Resident Evil 3 Remake Cloud is having problems right now. Because look at this. I'm just going to move around a bunch. Give me that herb. Oh yeah, A. I'm on the Switch. I'm pressing B like it's the X button. Okay. Now, with these first-person ones, with 7 and 8, you can feel the difference in the controller input lag more than in 2 and 3, I would say. And I think it's because it's first-person, and you're just kind of... You're quite literally closer to the aiming, and you could feel the differences. But still, you guys are looking at it right now. We're moving. And we're moving well. So, let's give RE3 one more chance and see if there's just something specifically happening with that title right now, or if it's just an overall issue. So far, it's isolated as far as we can tell. But we did have those major hiccups when we first loaded Resident Evil 2 at the start of this stream. And then after the reload, it was smooth sailing. So let's see if it's the same scenario here. We already reloaded once with RE3, and we still had problems there. But let's see what happens this time. And again, I'm very happy that these issues are happening during the live stream. You know, I don't want you guys to just take my word for it, right? Not that I'm ever going to lie to you, but I don't want you to just rely on taking my word for it. I want you to actually experience it and see what I'm talking about. Because the experiences across the board for players has been wildly all over the place with these cloud editions since they launched. Okay, let's jump in. Yeah, we got an achievement. Continue. All that moved nice and smooth right there. Come on, show me some good performance here. Oh boy, everybody. It's looking good. Okay, let's actually prepare ourselves then. If we're going to take on Nemesis real quick. It's working. We did 2 reloads, but we are working. Okay, let's try to play it like I normally would. I'm going to store the med kit. I'm going to keep the grenade because I may need that against Nemesis right now. Let's reload our handgun. Okay, that's reloaded. It's working, guys. Look. Look, look, look. That was I tilted the stick. That was my fault. Let's get you guys out of the way. Let's get this grenade ready. Nemesis? Oh! He jumped down behind me! Oh, God. Oh, give me that. Thank you. Okay, he's stunned for just a moment. This will give us a chance. It is working, everybody. I don't remember if he comes in this building. Does he? Should be a grenade in here. Okay. Okay. We're going to throw another save in here. But the game is working. It's actually functioning. What did he drop this first time around? Is this medkits? Oh, extended magazine. Yeah, we definitely want that. Oh, free ammo fill up too. Alright, we are hurting a little bit, so I'm going to throw the herb on us. But here we go. Let's just look around at detail and everything. We saw the opening cutscene of the demo before, and that was moving real good. The demo worked really, really well. But as you can see, we're moving nice and smooth now. We're not getting a ton of artifacting. Lighting looks good. We are in much better shape right now. Yeah, this is looking a lot better. Bullet sponges. Helps if I actually hit him, though. As I play very poorly. Oh, Nemesis is back. Oh, get in the room! He won't come in here. It's good, though. I want the action to happen.
Carlos, I'm in the control room. Now what?
Nice. Now you gotta plot out a route.
Okay, give me a second.
Okay. Let's unlock this. It's definitely happy right now, guys. What was our route here? Alright, and then it goes to...
We need to reach Fox Park Station. Can you program that in?
Hey, I'm Super Cop.
Was it...
Consider it done.
What route was this? RA? Which route is that? The second one. Here's RA, and that's 2. And then 3. Is that SA? I don't remember the order.
Unable to establish route. Please try again.
Oh, FA is that first one. Okay, FA, RA, and FA, RA, SA.
Valid route confirmed.
There we go.
Carlos,
I was looking at it wrong. I'm like, wait, which is which?
Jill, you are amazing. Tough as nails, too. Hurry back to the station. We'll make sure the
Okay.
subway's ready to depart.
I just want to run through to the next sequence to see how this handles, considering we had the issues happening with this. I want to see if we continue to perform all right. Die! Oh boy, wow! You just took up all that ammo, huh? Alright. Should have just went with the shotgun to begin with. Okay, we're gonna have to dodge Nemesis. We might as well, even though I just blew through all that ammo, I'm gonna throw a save in here. I'll just put it on the next one down. I do like that this is working. Okay, Nemesis is gonna make some more of these squiggly guys. Oh! Okay, get them with that. Do I have a med kit? I should have grabbed a med kit. Probably gonna die. Because that little stun is not gonna hold him off for long. Oh, he's back. Oh! Oh, I'm dead. Oh, man, he just punched me dead. Alright, though. Okay. That worked. So, again, when you're running into issues with these cloud games, sometimes you need to literally just reload the game. And it's kind of hit or miss. But overall, we have experienced a pretty solid performance on all of these cloud titles for Resident Evil. And again, this is on the Switch 2. And we've turned off, on purpose, we have purposely turned off the IPv6 setting in the Nintendo Switch 2. And I can tell you from first-hand experience, and now you can see from first-hand experience, that turning off that setting improves the performance dramatically. Many of you watching this have seen horrible performances from these cloud games, and many of you have also had very positive performances on these cloud games. I think, and this is just me basing it off of what I'm seeing here, and I don't know a whole lot about what IPv6 is doing as far as these game consoles are concerned, but apparently it causes poor routing issues on the Nintendo Switch and Switch 2. So, if you have the regular Switch, the Switch 1 or the Switch OLED, from what I've been reading, and I've checked it on the Switch, there is no IPv6 setting in the original Switch or the OLED. If you want to turn it off, you would have to turn it off at your gateway or router. And that obviously would impact your overall network and any devices connected to it. What impact that will have on the rest of your household devices, I'm not entirely sure, because I don't know what those devices are utilizing the IPv6 for. But the IPv4 is going to be there regardless. And that's what most devices are using anyway. So I would imagine it would eliminate some other issues, because what it did for the Switch 2 in Wi-Fi mode is that turning off the IPv6 allows the Switch 2 to default to the 5 gigahertz band on wireless connection, which is great. There's less distance. You can't be as far away from your router or your access point on 5G. But if you're close enough, you're going to get a lot more speed, a lot more bandwidth. So it's a good thing to have there. I got to say, overall, this has been a very successful test of these. I have been playing these offline prior testing them before doing this over the last couple of weeks. I really wanted to make sure there truly was a change, and there definitely is. We have prior videos here on the channel looking at this on the Switch OLED and the original Switch, and these things perform terribly, and I've tested them in Wi-Fi and tested them hardwired. Today, we played hardwired docked in the Switch 2, and we had a great time. But I have played these in handheld, on Wi-Fi, on the Switch 2, with IPv6 turned off, and I've had the same great experience with it. That said, we did see there are some issues, and sometimes you do need to restart the game. There also will still be times where the Nintendo servers are having a bad day, and it may kick you from the game, or it may take forever to load it, and you may get a whole bunch of lag while playing it, both frame rate wise and most importantly, and most unfortunately, controller input lag. That can be a major problem when you're playing games like this. But that said, I am so happy that this option is here to at least fix the problem, or at least for the most part, put a band-aid on the problem on the Switch 2, and gives us a chance to play these in a positive way. I still want Capcom and Nintendo to put actual local ports out for all of these. 2 Remake, 3 Remake, Village, and 7. I want actual ports on the hardware. And I don't see any reason why the original Switch and the OLED Switch can't handle them either. They should be able to play fine. So, that said, everybody, I think we've had a good run with these games this morning. I think they're in much better shape than they ever have been. And I'm going to put details into the description, so for the replay, it'll be there. I'm going to put some instructions, and maybe, actually, there was a good video that I watched showing how to get all these settings. Maybe I'll just link that in the description, but that's the key. That's the key to these games right now, and if you want a better online performance of your Nintendo Switch 2, turn off IPv6. It works. I can tell you for a fact it works. And I will also put in the description of the video the name of the person who commented the recommendation to do this. I get from having a brain fart for the life of me. I can't remember their name right now, but I'm going to add them to the description because they deserve some props. I have pinned their comment on prior videos as well, so you can take a look at the exact conversation I had with them. And man, so happy that happened. So happy that happened. All right, guys, we're going to wrap this stream up here for now, depending on how the rest of the day goes and then the rest of the week. We're definitely back tomorrow for our Thursday night stream. And next week, we're going to be streaming like crazy because I got a whole bunch of time off from work. So we're going to be pushing here on the channel. We're going to be pushing a lot of stuff, plenty more retro gaming coming, obviously some more Resident Evil, and then we're going to be back to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I see you guys calling for an all-day Final Fantasy VII stream. Whew. Maybe that's one of them. Maybe from morning till night on one of those days, we play through a whole bunch of Rebirth. I don't know. We're going to see how it goes. We're going to play it by ear and see what happens. But I appreciate everybody joining me here today, both on the horizontal stream and on the vertical stream. I'm going to continue to test these with different games and see how the streams perform. I hope you guys had a great time. And until next time, everybody, remember, keep retro gaming alive, because one day your games will be retro too. Whew, man, what a interesting run this was here. We had problems, we had positives, more positives than problems, so I had a good time.